Foreign exchange students all over the United States, including right here in Arizona, could be at risk of a new international cyber scheme. The FBI is investigating it. They're calling it cyber kidnapping.
Yeah, one case recently in Utah made national headlines. A 17-year-old foreign exchange student and his family were both hoaxed, and police had to rescue the teen from the woods. True crime correspondent Brianna Whitney is looking into how these schemes work and how they're being investigated.
The worst part of the internet, right? And I think one of the scariest parts here is that cyber kidnapping is new even to the FBI. They are used to investigating international hoaxes and ransoms, but these hackers have found a way to trick multiple people involved in the same scheme. And an FBI expert says there's likely a reason why Chinese foreign exchange students are being targeted most.
This video showing the moment 17-year-old Chinese foreign exchange student Kai Zhuang was rescued from a tent in the Utah woods. But in a twist of events, a situation the teen put himself in out of fear at the request of cyber kidnapping hackers.
Cyber kidnapping is obviously new. It's something we're seeing more of.
John Iannarelli is a former FBI special agent and says hackers have gotten even more savvy, finding ways to swindle a host of victims in one crime. This all began late last week when Kai was reported missing Thursday by his high school. His parents had contacted the school after they received a ransom photo of their son and sent $80,000 to bank accounts in China due to what they said were continuous threats from the kidnappers. But local police ran into a barrier.
We attempted to put out an Amber Alert, but due to the circumstances, we were unable to put him out under the Amber Alert system because you have to have an identified suspect to list under the Amber Alert.
That's when the FBI briefed the police on multiple incidents, saying cyber kidnappers have been targeting Chinese foreign exchange students. The FBI said the perpetrators threatened the young students and their families while demanding ransom, telling the students to isolate themselves and take pictures of themselves that make it look like they are being held captive, and then send them to their families. Bank records, cell phone pings, and word of mouth helped police find Kai, and the puzzle pieces came together.
The IP addresses used for the communication from the parents and the kidnapper were also in China.
Iannarelli says these criminals have now found a way to hoax both the young students and their parents at the same time by manipulation. And he says there's a reason why Chinese students specifically are being targeted.
First, there's many of them here in the United States. Secondly, communication within China is hampered. It's not like it's here in the United States where we have freedoms. It may be difficult to get in touch with family members just to begin with.
While Iannarelli says most of the times these cyber kidnapping schemes are only financially dangerous and not physically, Kai's case crossed that line due to severe manipulation.
The greatest danger here was the risk that the victim put himself at, believing that he could protect his family by doing what these kidnappers wanted him to do.
Yeah, very scary stuff there. We do have a lot of Chinese foreign exchange students in Arizona. ASU tells me they discuss scams and how to avoid being targets of schemes through their international student orientation and ongoing educational efforts. I'm sure the universities, the high schools here are paying attention to this.
Wow.
And you told us these hackers, they're using Zoom and Skype in all this. How so?
Yeah, so that was part of the story as well. People like Kai, victims like him, these hackers are monitoring the victims through a Skype and a Zoom, wanting to see them in their isolated locations to make sure that they're not contacting anybody in ways that they don't want them to.
Wow.
Only want them to contact family if they're sending these pictures in compromising positions, like they are being held captive against their will. It's very manipulative and very scary for a teenager who probably isn't speaking all the languages that everybody is here. Of course, it's a vulnerable person, and that makes it even
Easier
much more
for the
easier and just more sad too, because he's an innocent teenager. So there are things to watch out for, but it's interesting the FBI is even new to this term cyber kidnapping.
It's always something new. All right, Brianna Whitney, thank you very much.